good just to be out here. This is my first game, so to do that in this to do that in this jersey and come out here win number one, game number one is definitely a really good feeling. And just trying to keep that momentum just going into the rest of the season. Like, we have a really special group and we have a lot of things to work on, and we're going to continue working on those things and growing and just being more connected every game.
Yeah, I agree. It was really fun to win with Wisconsin on the front.
Mark?
Destiny, I think you started fast, 10 points in the first 3.5 minutes. Just talk about that run, and is that just a sign of being kind of pumped up for the season? What went into that fast start for you?
Yeah, no, I was feeling good being out there. I feel like that definitely attributed to it. My teammates were trying to give me the ball as much as possible, feeding me in spots where I was open. Kira's finding me in windows. I just think that we moved the ball really well, and I hit a few shots, and that definitely got me going, as I hope y'all saw.
Sean?
You guys led by 9 at half, but really kind of asserted yourselves early on in that third quarter. Just how much was that a stress in the locker room, and just how key was it in both your minds to be able to come out of the break the way that you guys did and really kind of stretch the lead and set yourselves up for that second half?
I think we definitely talked about in the locker room wanting to be the aggressor instead of getting hit. We didn't start necessarily the way we wanted to, and so really making it a point of emphasis going into the second half, starting with our defense more than our offense.
Yeah, I knew that we had another level to reach, and we just weren't quite there. In the second half, I think we definitely made those adjustments, and we still have more adjustments to make to continue that throughout the whole game.
Mark?
Destiny and Kira, can you just speak to, Coach talked about, trying different combinations. At this point in the season, how much of is that a challenge for a player? What's your thoughts as a player as you're trying to kind of, settle in and learn these different combinations too? How challenging is it, or is it a challenge at all?
I don't think it's really a challenge. I think as a team, our mindset is that we're really selfless and we're putting the team first over, what's on the back of our jersey versus what's on the front of our jersey. So, just be ready to go when your name was called. And I think that's just the mindset and mentality that everyone has had thus far, and we're going to continue to have that.
Yeah, I agree. I think just really giving it our all for the minutes that we're in, not holding back, and just going for it. So we're really selfless and play as a team, like Destiny said.
Dennis? Did you have one?
I want to ask you, this third quarter, you started out with, you got to the rim 5 times you got 2 shot fouls. Was that a point of emphasis at halftime?
It was a point of emphasis for us to just attack more. We obviously couldn't really control what calls were made and all of that, but I think that we were more aggressive, and it definitely showed in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Joey?
Kira, foul trouble in the first half, but able to stick with it and still put out a really good game here in game one. What was your mindset with those 3 fouls playing on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, I think just making sure I was engaged on the bench as well, really pouring into my teammates, helped me to stay ready when I got to come back in. I think, not something I want to do is get in foul trouble early, but learning how to play with fouls and still be aggressive, getting in passing lanes, but not fouling anymore, I guess, yeah.
Sean?
Just kind of circling back to the rotations and everything, do you attribute that and just kind of first game jitters to just kind of the amount of turnovers this team had? Again, it's early on, it's a lot of new pieces, both returning and with you transfers coming in. What do you guys kind of attribute that to, and just what's key to kind of cleaning things up offensively?
I think just us staying poised and not letting anything else speed us up, just worrying about what we're trying to do on the court and not how we're being played. I think that, when you have different groups out there, sometimes maybe more people are connected than others, and we're still working on that connectivity. Like you said, we have a lot of new people, and we're only going to get better in that area.
Yeah.
Mark?
Doria had 6 blocks, and I guess I'm just wondering you guys go against her in practice a lot. Is that typical kind of what you two have seen from her, and what's it like, having that kind of presence, as you're trying to play, as a defense?
This last stretch of I think this past week she's had just a really, really good week overall. Being more aggressive, being more physical. You know, she's coming in from Croatia and everything is new and different from her. We didn't get to spend the summer with her either. So, you know, her coming into September, just being ready, adapting, learning, and just trying to be as connected to us as possible. I think every week she's grown and is definitely starting to show now. So I'm proud of her.
Me too, 100%.
Any other questions for the student athletes? We will move on to head coach Robin Pinch, and you guys are good to go. You want to start us off, Mark, or? Go ahead.
Coach, you started 5 transfers tonight. I mean, a lot of new faces on this team. What did you see from them in terms of, you know, team chemistry, ball movement, and how they came together for the first game of the season?
Yeah, I would just say we don't really look at it as a starting lineup. We look at it as the start of our rotation, and that could vary from game to game. We had a couple young ladies that had some injuries that didn't practice leading up to the game, and so that kind of switched our rotation up a little bit too and starting lineup. But you know, it's going to be a work in progress, like these young ladies said. I just think there's a lot of new faces. We've got 4 games in 8 days. And, you know, I just think minutes right now are important as we go through a really tough stretch out of the gates. I mean, that's a lot, 4 games in 8 days. And we're going to be on the road this weekend against a really good Marquette team. And so just trying to be mindful of that, but also early enough in the season that we're still looking at rotations and understanding the length of the season and that you're an injury away from really needing to go even deeper into your bench. And so trying to get reps for some of those players when we can, I think it's really important. But, you know, I think there was some really good flashes of our ball movement. I think there's flashes of when it got stuck a little bit. And I mean, typical of your first game, it's gonna be different than what you see in film from practice when you're going against somebody different than yourselves. And so there's gonna be a lot of teachable moments for us that I think we can learn from and just continue to get better.
Mark?
Robin, you know, Destiny today, she had that, you know, start to the game. It was 10 points in 3.5 minutes, and I think she had a sort of a similar type stretch in the exhibition as well. I guess I'm wondering, is that something you saw, and has that been always kind of part of her game, or is that just kind of, you know, just something we're kind of seeing, you know, a couple times here? I'm curious how much of those explosive bursts that you kind of see as you were kind of looking at her tape and things at Howard.
Yeah, I mean, she was a tremendous player at Howard, conference player of the year, I think her junior year. Really did, I mean, 3-level score. Just, you know, special talent. And I think there's even more in her tank, to be honest with you. I think, you know, always challenging her to play on both sides of the ball. I think defensively she can impose her will a little bit more than what she does. But offensively, I think she's, you know, a hard guard. She's got the ability to shoot the 3, but also it's got a really pretty pull-up jumper, but can get to the rim as well.
Joey?
Coach, complementary basketball, obviously kind of the name of the game of playing both on both sides of the floor. Where do you think that balance is at this
Can you
point?
repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sorry, complementary basketball, obviously kind of the name of the game of the balance of both sides of the ball, both sides of the court. Where do you see that balance in this early part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I can't wait to get back to practice and watch film and, you know, just help our players, you know, just gain a better understanding. But, you know, the thing defensively, you know, it's not just your responsibility, the connectivity and the rotations, helping the helper. And, you know, that's an area that I don't think we did great at tonight. I thought transition defense was pretty average, to be honest with you, at times. And just a lot of opportunities for growth, you know. And if we go this deep, understanding the importance of really emptying your tank, playing as hard as you can for as long as you can. And, you know, there was stretches when we did and stretches where I felt like we did enough to get by. And so, you know, just figuring out how to put 40 minutes together of playing as hard as we can and really connected and defensively having those rotations. I think offensively, I've been so impressed with this group, the way they move the ball in practice and so far in games. You don't see a lot of selfish plays of my turn shots. Now and then you'll get one. I mean, it's a flawed game, right? You're never going to play it perfect. But I think our young ladies do a really good job just with that ball movement and you know, the connectivity on the offensive end.
Sean?
Oh, Robin, could you just kind of add a little bit on what you saw from Doria tonight? Like Mark mentioned it, 6 blocks is pretty impressive for first game, especially given her kind of getting in with the team late. Just how vital was she in terms of the post, and just what impressed you?
Yeah, she's got, I think she's got a really high upside. She's got just a really good feel for the game, really high IQ. Little bit of a perfectionist that she beats herself up a little bit too much, but that's, I think there's a lot of those in our locker room. And so just trying to help her take a deep breath at times, but she can impact the game on both sides of the ball. I think defensively being a rim protector and pretty agile, but offensively just really understanding spacing and has really good hands, finishes well around the rim. Yeah, I think she's got a chance to be really, really good for us. Now, we didn't have her here this summer like Destiny had mentioned, and that's, not only being an international student athlete and the language barrier, but also not being with the team for the first couple months. That's a little bit challenging, but, when she did get here in September, it was a pretty smooth transition. She'd been playing pretty well, had a little bit of a hiccup, minor injury in practice that kept her out for about a week. And then I just feel like over the last probably week and a half that she's been back, we've just continued to see her day after day continue to move the needle. So I think she's got a really high upside. I think she's got a high IQ. She works really, really hard, just a special young lady.
Dennis?
Yeah, Robin, I want to talk about the physicality. It seemed like, I know you had 18 turnovers, but a lot of times players were on the floor. There's a lot of physical play out there. Is that something we're going to expect to see out of the Badgers?
I think you got to be physical in this league, and they work really hard. Our strength and conditioning coach AJ does a tremendous job with them. I think understanding how to use their physicality. We did get in foul trouble, but we didn't. Not in a situation that we put them to the free throw line too many times. Obviously, the turnovers are unacceptable. It's an area we got to get better at. Probably to be expected a little bit with so many new players, and so we'll continue to hone in on that. But I just thought the physicality. But I'm going to give Oakland credit too. I thought they came in. They were super scrappy. That's coach is brand new there. She brought in her roster too, and has done a really good job with them. I thought that was a really gritty team that played hard, as if there was nothing to lose. And so give credit to them too. But long story short, do we want to be physical, aggressive, scrappy, first to the floor? Absolutely.
Coach, Oakland went to the full court press very early on in the game, and they kind of stuck with it throughout. Were you happy to see that? Did it get you used to it? Are you looking forward to playing against a team as gritty as that as we go down the road?
Yeah, I think, just any experience is good experience right now. Whether teams are going to zone us, full court press us, it's just all, I think it's going to help us, as we go through this season. And the hard thing about early games is you don't have a big body of work, right? Especially when it's a new coach at a new university and they've played one game. And so, I think there's some challenges in those early games, but it's that way for everybody, for sure. But I think, you got to use everything as a learning experience and opportunity to grow from it, and certainly some things that we did well and areas that we have to improve on.
Joey?
Coach, one more. I mentioned Kira with the foul trouble early. How much trust have you had with her on both sides of the floor? I mentioned that before, but obviously she's been able to impact both sides early on.
She's one of our hardest workers, and they all work really hard. She's just really consistent the way she shows up every day. I think she's a tremendous teammate. I think, again, high basketball IQ. I think with early in the season, you're still kind of testing to see what kind of leash they get if they get in foul trouble. And so starting her in the third, it was a chance for us to see, does she understand what that needs to look like and how you need to move in that space. And so, again, a lot of new players, so we're figuring that out. Some players you might have a longer leash with 2 fouls, some players maybe a shorter leash, but that's a young lady that's got a really high IQ, has been really consistent for us. I think she's going to have a tremendous year for us.
Any other questions for Coach B?
One more on my end. Shea Bullen really turned it on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Where have you seen her growth since the offseason now here into game one with the start tonight?
Yeah, so she's had a lot of injuries in her career. Coming out of high school, pretty special young lady. Unfortunately, she's had a number of injuries, as a few of our players have. But again, comes from a coaching family, just like KD. Her mom's an AU coach. She's been around basketball her whole life. And honestly, one of the most selfless people that I've ever been around. She does such a tremendous job pouring into her teammates, always trying to encourage them, challenge them, but encourage them and build them up. And just a young lady that's really not concerned about what her stat line looks like, but how do I help our team be successful? And I think when you've got a locker room full of those kind of players, you got to be pretty excited as a coach. So excited for her, high IQ, really fundamental, playing out of position a little bit at that 5. She's more of a power forward, but we'll dabble back and forth a little bit, at least in this non-conference, and see what it looks like.
Any other questions? Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.